सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Chapter 3, Manifest and Unmanifest. We'll read the topic, the common factor.
The common factor. Brahman, the Supreme Being, is comparable to the deep, silent ocean with the limitless, turbulent waves on its surface. The waves have a beginning and an end. Each wave is born, it exists for a while and dies away, while the ocean below has no birth or death. It remains ever changeless all through the changes occurring in the countless waves. The inconstant waves appear and disappear over the constant substratum of the ocean. Like the ocean, the unmanifest part of Brahman remains expressionless, a silent witness to all the noisy expressions of the manifest world. Despite this difference between the ocean and waves, there is a fundamental element common to both of them. Waves are composed of water. So is the depths below water. Both wave and ocean are water. When waves are born, it's water. When they exist, it is water. When they die, it is water. Through birth, existence, and death, nothing has changed. Expression or no expression, it is water and water alone. So it is with Brahman. Manifest or unmanifest, there is nothing other than Brahman and Brahman alone. The Hindu scripture posits three gods to represent the phenomenon of creation, maintenance, and destruction. Creation has been personified as Lord Brahma, maintenance as Lord Vishnu, and destruction as Lord Maheshwara. Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara are not living persons. They merely represent the fundamental powers of nature manifest in the world. The three gods are said to be ruling the entire universe, signifying that the phenomenon of the world is just an expression of creation, maintenance, and destruction. Plants, animals, and human beings are born. They exist for a while and die. So too, day and night arise, exist, and die. And the seasons appear, exist, and disappear. The phenomenon goes on and on. Besides these three gods, the scripture introduces a fourth god known as Dattatreya. Dattatreya has a body with three faces of Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. The significance of the combination of three faces in one personality is that the processes of creation, maintenance, and destruction converge to one. They are interconnected. Morning dies, night is born. Night dies, morning born. In the process, the day is maintained. Similarly, do spring, summer, autumn, and winter appear and disappear while the year is maintained. Again, consider a stick broken into two. One would interpret it as a stick destroyed. Another would interpret the same as two sticks created. And the breaking of the stick would not be possible without the stick being maintained as one. Thus, creation, maintenance, and destruction are merely three facets of the same phenomenon. And the entire world is an expression of the three fundamental powers of the one reality, God.
The manifest and the unmanifest. So, the manifest we saw as subject and object. First, the manifest is introduced as the subject and the object. Now, that subject object has been combined to talk about as manifest. And that manifest is Brahman. That is the sequence. What is the manifest? The subject and the object. Subject is you, the object is the world. And then that subject and object, which is distinguished as two in terms of manifest, now it is being discussed as it is nothing different from Brahman. How that manifest is Brahman is what the topic is, the common factor. Always in life, from birth to death, we use the prefix I. And that prefix I is always connected to some suffix. That suffix is I am an infant, I am a child, I am a youth, I am a middle-aged person, I am a older person. The suffixes keep changing, the prefix remains the same. The suffixes are many. The suffixes keep changing and the suffixes are limited by nature. This is the nature of any suffix. The nature of any suffix is it is limited. They are bound to change and they are many. The common factor doesn't change. That common factor, the I, that doesn't change. The common factor I is with reference to the individual. The common factor with reference to the totality is the three powers, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. So you can understand the common factor in relation to the microcosm, and you can understand the common factor in relation to the macrocosm. You can understand the common factor in relation to the subject, and you can understand the common factor in relation to the object. So even though it looks as different in the subject and the object, it is not different, it is one and the same. That is called Brahman. Just as waves seems to be separate, the ocean seems to be separate. In reality, the common factor is water. That's the example. So you can understand it in terms of suffix and prefix, which is in relation to the individual. Again, you can understand it in terms of the macrocosm, the world. And when it comes to the world, what is the world? Three powers: creation, maintenance, destruction. And microcosm being part of the world also goes through the same thing. The microcosm of being part of the world also goes through the creation, maintenance, and destruction. Now, there are two common factors that we have arrived: the relative common factor and the absolute common factor. Sir, in your classes, after 10-15 minutes only the confusion will start. Today the confusion started from the very first, from the time you say Om Sahana Bhavatu, the confusion started. In the relative sense, the common factor is Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. That is common to everything. Micro and macro. The subject and the object. At the ultimate sense, the common factor is Brahman. We'll see both. That's what the topic is. What is the relative common factor? The relative common factor is creation, maintenance, and destruction. You can understand it as natural phenomena, or you can give it a form and understand it through that form. The vast majority would find it difficult to understand it as a natural phenomena. Therefore, each and every factor is given a form. For creation, Lord Brahma is the creator. Masculine, huh? Not Brahman, Lord Brahma. Just to differentiate between Brahman and Lord Brahma, you can say Brahman, and Lord Brahma, you can call it as Brahmaji. You can say, just as you can say Aravindanji, you can say Brahmaji. So Brahmaji is creator. Second is Vishnu, the maintenance part, the sustenance part. Maintenance means sustenance. And then comes destruction, Maheshwara. So Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara is the common factor, is the relative common factor for subject and object. This we understand because the individual is also created, meaning born. The individual is also being born, and the individual is maintained, and the individual gets destroyed. Similarly, the planets are born, the planets are maintained, the planets gets destroyed. Multiverses, because nowadays it's not universe anymore. Uni means one. Universe means one universe. Multi means there are many universes. Many universes means how much ever you can imagine, there is that many verses. So the multiverses are born, the multiverses die. Between birth and death, there is an existence. So multiverses are born, multiverses die. Day and night arise, exist and die. Seasons appear, exist and disappear. The three gods are said to be ruling the entire universe. Just to make it clear that don't think it as three gods, the three gods are put into one form, Dattatreya, making sure that they are not separate, they are one. One having three distinct functions. Before we go to Dattatreya, we study Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. On observation and thinking, you find out what there is this natural force, the fundamental manifestation of nature. What is the fundamental manifestation of nature? Creation, maintenance, and destruction. When it destroys, it goes through the cycle of next birth. So there is a continuous cycle of manifest, and there is a continuous cycle of temporary unmanifest. Whether it is manifest or unmanifest, Brahman is Brahman is. Brahman is what to say. Brahman is, that's all. Because the moment you talk about Brahman, you can't add anything extra to it. What you see as manifest is Brahman. What you see as unmanifest also is Brahman. Is Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara Brahman? Is that which is changing Brahman? Is waves water? Yes. Is waves water? Yes. The waves are born. Does anything happen to the water? The waves exist. Does anything happen to the water? The waves die. Again, does anything happen to the water? That's the beauty of this example. The beauty of the ocean and the waves. And some of the examples, you'll get very frustrated listening to it. At least we feel like saying, why can't you give some? Yeah, why can't you give some new examples? Or at least Adlai have to bring in some variety. No. Otherwise, 1.5 hours of lullaby, you know how difficult it is to keep us awake. You are talking, sir. It is easy for you to be awake because you are talking. Okay. Sit and listen, then you will know. Because it is like it's the even the examples. Why do you want to change the? Why do you want to change the example at least? Example of Mahatma. Change it. Are you able to follow? The waves arise, exist, and die. Though it appears to have a separate existence, though it appears to have a creation, maintenance, destruction, in essence, there is nothing other than Brahman and Brahman alone. Birth, existence, death, nothing changes. In fact, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. That's okay, sir, but we are seeing changes. No, nothing has changed is okay. But we are constantly seeing changes. And these changes matters a lot. These changes affect us a lot. The beauty of the entire concept of God is the status of Godhood is not an acquisition. The status of Godhood is not a becoming. It's not an acquisition. It is not a becoming. Acquisition means learning, practicing, getting established. This is called acquisition. Acquisition means learning, practicing, and getting established. The child, the infant, when I say child, means the infant. The child has to learn how to see, correct? They say it takes a few months for the child to learn how to see, to hear, to turn, to crawl, to walk, to talk. And then as you age, slowly, 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 one by one, says goodbye also, isn't it? You will learn to run, and then at one stage you can't run. You will walk fast, at another stage you can't walk fast. At another stage, at least mere sitting itself is a big, getting up and sitting itself becomes an achievement. At another stage, just lying down. One by one, all that you have acquired, one by one is lost, isn't it? Everything in life is acquired. Acquisition means what? Acquisition means that which intrinsically is not yours. That's what acquisition means. Anything acquired is not yours. Then only you can acquire. Are you able to follow? The very fact that you are able to acquire means it is not yours. That which is yours, how can you acquire? And what is acquisition? That which was not yours, temporarily you assume that to be yours. So from this, what do you understand? Anything that is acquired has Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara in it. All acquisitions has Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Yeah, every acquisition has Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara in it. You acquire this body, you will lose this body. You acquire a family, you lose family. There are families where the parents are here 30 years, 40 years, and the children are on the other side of the globe, and they meet only once in 3 years, and they meet only once in 4 years. Every year they say they will come, and every year something will happen that they cannot come. By and by what happens? By and by what happens? The very relationship itself is lost. Why? Because it is a product of acquisition. The product of acquisition. Skill you can acquire, and that's why you lose the skill. You can acquire a skill. And any acquisition means, from this you will be able to understand the definition of acquisition. Meaning, learning, practicing, getting established only to lose it. Learning, practicing, getting established. No, don't put a full stop there. Learning, practicing, getting established, or comma, only to lose it. What is that process? They gave a name: creation, maintenance, destruction. Since it is difficult to understand creation, maintenance, destruction, they gave it a form. Because the moment there is a form, it is easy to comprehend. Brahma is the Brahmaji, is the creator. Yeah. Since we are alternatively using Brahma and Brahman, Brahma and Brahman, how to distinguish? Yeah. Brahmaji will understand a person, a form. Between creation and destruction, it survives for a while. It exists for a while. And that existence is called Vishnu. So, what are the three forces? What are the three natural phenomena to life? Actually, even to call it as force is wrong. The three natural phenomena to life. What are the three natural phenomena? Creation, maintenance, and destruction. The Hindu scriptures means Vedas. What are the Hindu scriptures? The Hindu scriptures means the Vedas, the Vedanta, the Upanishads says the phenomena of creation, maintenance, and destruction is given three forms. And then he goes on to say they are not actual physical personality. It is a symbolic representation. They are not actual physical personality. This is a bit difficult to accept because we have been so conditioned to believe that there is a that they are actual. They may not be human beings, but supernatural form. No, the moment you bring in a form, the form has creation, maintenance, and destruction. Because form is that which is created, and anything that is created gets destroyed. And if there is something which is anadi, if there is something which is not created, anything that is not created cannot have a form. Cannot have a form. But very difficult to comprehend this. Therefore, what they did, they gave it three names: Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Brahma is okay, sir, but Vishnu and Shiva is. Please, we know that Brahma is not so powerful God. We know that because we have never heard stories about Brahma so much, but Vishnu and Shiva is not like that, sir. Or maybe Swamiji doesn't believe in these gods. That's why he is saying it like that. Maybe you also don't believe, sir. That's why he's saying it like that. You come to Vaikunta, sorry, not Vaikunta. Where can we go to Vaikunta? If we go to Vaikunta, we can't have a conversation, isn't it? So you come to the Bhuloka Vaikunta, sir. You can see. You come to Chit Sabesha. You come there. You can see Shiva. How can you say that it is not a form? It is not a form, because a form is that which disintegrates, diminishes, and you cannot have an infinite permanent form. But our notion of God being supernatural, we think, sir, it is possible for God, sir. After this, you cannot talk. Yeah. After this, you cannot talk, because people will say, what you are saying is applicable to world and beings and all, but what you are saying doesn't apply to God, because God being all powerful, God being omniscient, God being all powerful, God being all knowledgeable, he can do whatever he wants. And that God is very happy for us. Why? Because since he can do whatever he wants, all that you got to do is please that God, and he will do. All that you got to do is please that God, and that God will give you whatever you want. Remember the story Bharat Mata. I don't know how many remembers. Remember the story Bharat Mata. "75 years of independence we celebrated." Yeah, no independence only. Where is the independence? No independence only, but still we celebrated. The non-existing independence we celebrated, and we used to wait for Independence Day because that is the day of holiday. That's all, isn't it? So if you have to celebrate means you have to take a break. So any celebration means you have to go on a holiday. Oh, why can't you say today is Independence Day? We all will work 2 hours extra. Yeah, so we can't do that because celebration means break. Independence means break. So we have our own notions of independence, which is all dependence only. Anyway, so 75 years of independence we celebrate. Before that, in every household, there used to be a picture of Bharat Mata. There used to be a picture of Bharat Mata. I still remember. During the vacation, we used to go to the villages. And when you go to the village, we have to visit everybody in the street. Because by the time you visit one house, the entire holiday is over, because everybody in the street is your uncle, aunt, somebody. No. What do you do? And in everybody's house, there will be a picture of Bharat Mata. Is there any person called Bharat Mata? Yes or no? Maybe yes, sir. Yeah. Auckland, just because we have not seen, we can't say that, no, sir. We have to be open-minded, no? We have to be open-minded and keep that option open so that maybe there is Bharat Mata somewhere. Insanity has no. Yeah. Is there a Dubai Mata somewhere in Dubai, Anshu? No, there's no. Oh, correct. America has a Mata standing, isn't it? Is she a girl, male or female? America also has a Mata standing, no? Statue of Liberty. There is a Mata. We all understand that Bharat Mata is a symbolic representation of something. We want people to understand, and it is easy to communicate it through a form. Therefore, a form got created, and that form is called Bharat Mata. White sari. Who designed her costume? God only knows, sir. Because somebody has to design the costume, no? Somebody designed the costume, somebody designed the chain, and somebody designed the number of links in the chain, and somebody decided that her hair will be open, not correct, no? Her hair will be open, sad face, because how can you smile with the chain? Now, by and by what happened? People started building temple for Bharat Mata. Because when there is a picture, why can't you build a temple? Correct? So a temple for Bharat Mata is built. The moment you build a temple, what all goes with it? What all will go with the temple? The moment temple comes, what all goes with this? Two things will go. Priest and prasad. Yeah. There has to be a priest and there has to be a a prasad. And the fellow who builds the temple invariably becomes the priest, because he built the temple, no? So he becomes the priest. And then prasad. Whatever he likes, he will make it as the prasad. Imagine that generations are following that. Are you able to follow what I'm saying? Imagine generations started to follow that. By and by, from 50, it will go to 500. From 500, it will go to 5,000, 50,000, 9 million, because blindness and gossips travels very fast. Isn't it? Ignorance, gossips, untruth travels very fast. Yeah. For class message forward pannunganna, nobody will forward. Yeah. To forward the class message, nobody will forward. WhatsApp, some story will come. Immediately forwarded. In a matter of 3 hours, the whole world knows it. And I get it, multi-forwarded. I'm also waiting for that one day where, Venkat, our class information gets multi-forwarded. One forwarded, where it will come multiple times forwarded. Why? The truth. We understand, therefore no issues. We understand, no, what? Ignorance, untruth, gossip travels very fast. So from 5, it will turn to 50, to 500, 5,000, 5 millions, it will go on. All over the country, Bharat Mata temples will start springing. And 10th generation will actually believe that there is the divine goddess by name Bharat Mata. And then 11th generation, one enlightened person will come out of that. Who's that enlightened person? Who's that enlightened person? Who says, I saw Bharat Mata. Enlightened. He's an enlightened person. Because he saw Bharat Mata. And the whole lot will start falling at his feet. What would you call that person who say, I saw Bharat Mata? Ganesh. What would you call that person? Venkatachalam. If somebody says, I saw Bharat Mata, what would you call that person? You will not give him the status of a guru and put him on a pedestal. No. You will not put him on a pedestal. You will say, I think you should see a psychiatrist. Because you are seeing that which isn't there. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, all that started as a concept of like Bharat Mata over a period of time has become, and there are so many human beings are also claiming that we saw Bharat Mata. Sorry, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. They are representing the manifest. The supreme reality is beyond that, Brahman. That's what you got to understand. The same knowledge is that which speaks about the glories of Vishnu, the glories of Shiva, and all that. When we go to gods and gods, we will see that. Because in the same topic in the same chapter, we are going to see that. When you go to God and gods, and we go to the symbolism of Shiva Linga, we will see all that in detail. But before we go into that, you need to understand the basics correct, and then see why they are explained it in that way. Then your concept of God becomes clear. Otherwise, what will happen? You will think of some symbolic form as true form and start worshipping that, believing that. The moment temple comes, I said two things will come. What are the two things? Priest and prasad. Yeah, that's Varno. That's one other temple, isn't it? Otherwise, what is the temple? The moment priest and prasad comes, along with it, what comes? A group who says, I don't believe in this. A group. And then conversion will start. Fight will start, conversion will start. Are you able to follow how religion has got deteriorated? Without going into the technical details, I'm trying to make it simple so that we understand the madness that is happening in the name of religion. The moment there is this, immediately what will happen? The moment there is the temple, there is the priest, there is the prasad, and all that, simultaneously another group will develop. What is the group? The group that says, I don't believe in this. Those who says, I don't believe in this, the believers will condemn them to hell. Correct? Srikanth, if you don't believe, you will go to Naraka. Do you want to go? First question. Do you want to go to Naraka? You say, I don't know what is Naraka, because you don't know what is Naraka. Yeah, you don't know what is Naraka. No, sir, I know Naraka already between us. I know Naraka already because we are all married, no? So we know Naraka already. What is Naraka? A place of a place of constant pain and no happiness at all. And even the happiness that you get is not real happiness. Why? That break is for the next round of boxing. In the boxing, they do that, no? They box each other and then they take a break. Why can't they just box for 5-6 minutes and be done with it? Bro, what is entertainment? So you got to box, take a break only to get boxed again. That is Naraka. Correct? Do you want to go to this Naraka? The answer is Aparna. No, we don't want to go. No, sir, we don't want this Naraka at all. What do I do, sir, now? Because I have told you that there is Naraka. It means I only can save you now. Isn't it? You didn't know by yourself. Since I am the one who knows Naraka, obviously, I can only cure you now. No, now you will ask me, what do I do to escape this Naraka? Believe in Bharat Mata. Okay. And believe that I am the only one who can take you to Bharat Mata also. Look at that. Huh? Look at that. Believe in Bharat Mata. Accept it. Second, I am the only one who can take you to Bharat Mata. Accept it. Anywhere else you go, Naraka. How close can I get to Bharat Mata, sir? How close can I get to Bharat Mata? Saloka, Sarupya, Samipya, Sayujya. Yeah, how close I can get to Bharat Mata? Depending on the number of people you can convert. Depending on the number of people you can bring into the fold, accordingly, you can be in Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya, and Sayujya will not happen. Why? That is exclusively reserved only for me. I'm using Bharat Mata only as an example. I wanted to use so many names of gods and goddess. Unnecessarily, you will get hurt. Therefore, I'm using Bharat Mata. Replace Bharat Mata with whatever you are attached to. Replace Bharat Mata with that. What started as a representative figure today has become the reality, and that is the deterioration of religion. And the way in which religion is harming humanity, no other thing harms humanity today. The way that religion is harming. Looks like to an extent that this religion is, humanity may be better without this Bharat Mata kind of religion. Vedanta comes and says true religion has got nothing to do with Bharat Mata types. It is a symbolic representation. And what is that they symbolically represent? The three. What are the three? Creation, maintenance, destruction. Creation, maintenance, destruction. Are they three separate factors then? No, no, no. They are not three separate factors. All in one, the Tatreya. All in one, the Tatreya. There is one God called the Tatreya. Some of the extraordinary symbolisms of Vedic Vedanta is the Tatreya, Ardhanarishwara, Shivalinga. These are all extraordinary symbolisms which represents the true, which gives the true knowledge. When we go to the Shivalinga, we will see the other two also. Even though in the book he talks about only the Shivalinga, we will discuss it because if he starts writing everything in the book, this book will become so thick again. So symbolically he gives one. In the classroom, we try to elaborate it. Now the symbolism here, now the form here is the Tatreya. A body with three faces. 2 hands, 2 legs, 3 faces. What are the 3 faces? Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara. All are interconnected. All in one says what they are interconnected, meaning all 3 coexist. Creation is happening, maintenance is happening, destruction is happening. It's a continuous process. Are you able to follow? It's a continuous process. The continuous process of creation, maintenance, and destruction. A continuous cycle, a non-stop cycle of creation, maintenance, destruction. Therefore, creation, maintenance, and destruction are 3 facets of the same phenomena. Creation, maintenance, destructions are 3 facets of the same phenomena. What is the same phenomena? The phenomena called manifest. The phenomena called manifest as these 3. Creation, maintenance, and destruction. Manifest and unmanifest. This is the topic. Manifest and unmanifest. Now we will read the topic. Sattva, Rajas, and
Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. The unmanifest Brahman is also seen manifest in the world as the 3 Gunas, attributes, known in Sanskrit as Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. They constitute the 3 mental temperaments of human beings. Tamas is the state of thoughts in inertia, a mood of lethargy, indolence, indifference, indisposed to activity, a condition of sloth and sleep, with no intellectual conviction to pursue, nor emotional feeling to manifest. A person steeped in tamas lives a dull, inactive life, with hardly any response to the world. Rajas is the state of passionate, desirous, agitated thoughts. When a person bristles with frenzied actions, leading to his involvement in the affairs of the world. Sattva is the state of thoughts in equanimity, serenity, objectivity. When a person is poised, mature, contemplative, detached from worldly involvement and excitement, hence termed transactive. Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, composed in different proportions, accounts for the heterogeneous variety of human beings. Every individual possesses all three gunas. The proportion of these temperaments differs from person to person. Some have sattva predominating over rajas and tamas. They are referred to as sattvic persons. Others have rajas predominating over the other two. They are the rajasic persons. And the predominance of tamas creates tamasic persons. The states of sattva, rajas, and tamas constitute the manifest world. Brahman lies beyond these three states, referred to as guna atita, transcending the gunas attributes. Hence, Brahman, the supreme God, is said to be attributeless.
Now, another from creation, maintenance, and destruction as manifest. Now, the manifest is analyzed from different angles. Analyzed means seen that which is there, in that sense. Seen that which is there. So, what is the manifest in another angle? Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Another extraordinary contribution of Vedanta to understanding human, or to understand everything in nature itself in general, is these three gunas. Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. The manifest is of these three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. The unmanifest Brahman is Guna Atita. Why all these definitions are, why all this analysis is done is because Brahman is always discussed as above these, different from this, different from this. So what are the three? Another extraordinary contribution: Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Tamas. Tamas is Tamas is the state of thoughts in inertia, a mood of lethargy, indolence, indifference, indisposed to activity. A condition of sloth and sleep. A condition of sloth and condition of sleep. See, sleep as in not in physical sleep. It is physical sleep also, but don't equate it to the physical sleep. For it is not that. It is not that. No conviction to pursue, no emotional feeling to manifest, a dull, inactive life with hardly any response to the world. Such a state is called tamas. What is tamas? Indifference is tamas. Indifference is indifference towards all facets of life. Indifference towards everything. That is tamas. Indifference to one's own health, indifference to one's own wealth, indifference to one's own things, indifference to people and the environment around. Wherever there is indifference, understand it as tamas. Lethargy. Lethargy means, what is lethargy? Blissful in inaction is lethargy. இப்படி சும்மா உட்கார்ந்துனே இருந்தா நல்லா இருக்கு. Blissful in inaction is lethargy. What couch potato? You keep sitting in the couch, you become a potato. Therefore, it's called couch potato, isn't it? You don't do anything, just keep sitting in the couch, you become like a potato. Couch potato. That is tamas. Distinct and different from tamas is rajas. Distinct and different from tamas is rajas. What is rajas? Agitated activities. Frenzied actions. Agitated actions in a frenzied state. What is actions in a frenzied state means? So busy, that so agitated by being, so fatigued by being active. So fatigued by being active is the state of rajas. Tamas is not wanting to get into activity itself. Rajas is fatigued activity. Frenzied. Frenzied means, how do you understand frenzy? Frenzy results in fatigue. Actions done with involvement. Involvement here is used in the negative sense. Because nowadays they say whatever you do, you should do it with. Whatever you do, you should do it with involvement. No, sir. Here the word involvement is used in the sense of attachment. Here it is used in the sense of attachment. Sattva. What is Sattva Guna? Sattva Guna is the state of thoughts in objectivity. Tamas is sleeping. Rajas is involvement. Sattva is objectivity. And objectivity means you are doing and one part of you is detached from what you are doing. That is objectivity. You are doing and one part of you is detached. That is sattva. That's why it's called Objectivity. What is objectivity? Detached doing. So what is the combination in Sattva now? The combination in Sattva is detachment and doing. The combination is detachment and doing. In Rajas, involved doing. In Tamas, no doing. Tamas is no doing. Don't ask me to do anything, sir. Yeah. Such a strain. Such a strain to. Rajas is when you start doing, the very involvement comes in doing. Because we believe that only the involvement brings about, only the involvement can bring about sincerity, dedication, right doing, all comes out of involvement. You hope sincerity, dedication will come out of involvement. What will actually come out of involvement? Worry, anxiety, depression comes. You hope to be sincere and dedicated by involvement. The hope is that. But where will you end up? You will end up in, where will you end up? You will end up in worry, anxiety, depression. That is involved doing. What is Sattva Guna? Detached doing. What is he doing? What does the Sattvic person do? The Sattvic person does the spiritual yogas. Karma Bhakti Jnana. The Sattvic person is one who is interested in shifting the attention from the suffix to the prefix. Who is a Sattvic person? He wants to shift the attention from the suffix to the prefix, because all along the involvement is with suffix. All along you are involved with the suffix. And he has understood that the suffix is not where the attention should be. So who is a Sattvic person? What is he doing? He does activities to shift the attention from the suffix to the prefix. Because he has shifted the attention from the suffix to the prefix, he is detached from worldly involvement and excitement. Because of the shift, he is detached from worldly involvement and worldly excitement. What is worldly excitement? Success gives joy, failure gives sorrow. That is excitement. Success gives joy, and failure gives sorrow. And somehow you want to avoid the pain of sorrow and keep to the joy of success. That frenzied effort is called rajas. That frenzied effort to avoid failure and keep to the success. We have seen this any number of times. Nobody works for failure. It's common sense. Nobody works for failure. Everybody will work for success only. Nobody is going to work for failure. Now, whether you work for failure or not, failure comes. Why? Because we have seen that already. In some other class, we have seen that activity will produce a result. Activity will produce the result, and the result is of 4 types. What are the 4 types of result? You may get exactly what you want. You may get more than what you want. You may get less than what you want. Most of the times we get the opposite of what we want. Getting more than what we want, first day because that we get only once in a lifetime. Yeah. Only when you get it once in a lifetime, it's called bonus. No. A bonus will not come to you every day. Every day, if bonus is coming in, it's not bonus after that, isn't it? So, a sattvic person understands this. As a result of which, he is detached from involvement and excitement. What is the tamasic person? He is best of the 3, isn't it? You need not worry about. You need not worry about the prefix and the suffix. Why are you unnecessarily confusing, sir? There is no such thing called prefix and suffix. Yeah. Unnecessarily, you have read something and you yourself don't know what you are. You yourself don't know what you are talking. You have read something and you are coming and confusing us with this prefix and the suffix. In fact, there are no 2 things, prefix and suffix. And the mother end. There are no 2 things at all in the first place. Again. The purpose of life is to enjoy, no, sir. Purpose of life is to be happy, no? He will create his own philosophy, sir. That is tamoguna. Who's the tamoguna? Carefully follow now. Tamoguna is self-created philosophers. They will create their own philosophy. That is tamoguna. Sattva guna follow the laid down philosophy. Who is the rajoguna? Confused between the 2. Rajoguna is confused between the 2. Sometimes the self-created philosophies appear to be right. Sometimes the laid down philosophy seems to be correct. I was better off before coming to the classes, sir. At least there was no confusion before. For I was leading life according to my own. I create my own philosophy, no? And everybody creates their own philosophy. See, even here, even after coming to Vedanta also, from Vedanta also, they will create their own philosophy and they will follow. Tamoguna nature doesn't. Even here, they will create their own philosophy and they will say, this is what you said, no, sir. I didn't say that. No, sir, you didn't say. Swamiji said it. But I have never, I am also studying him for 30-35 years. I have not heard him saying. Maybe on the class, sir. Maybe you would have slept off or you would have missed out of syllabus choice. Are you able to follow? This is tamoguna. What is tamoguna now? Are you able to follow? What is tamoguna? You create your own things according to your whims and fancies. According to your whims and fancies, you create your own thing and follow. But what is the result you want? You will create your own thing and you will ask for the benefit of enlightenment. How does it happen? That is tamoguna. What is rajoguna? Rajoguna is a confusion. What is the confusion? Unnecessarily you exposed yourself. Unnecessarily you expose yourself to the laid down knowledge, the pramana. Unnecessarily you got exposed to the Shastra Pramanam. And now there is a confusion. What is the confusion? You are self-created and this one, chaotic. You go through this confusion and then come to the ultimate. What is the ultimate? Sattva Guna. State of poise, equanimity, objectivity, because you don't make your own rules, you follow the, you don't make your own rules, you follow the rule, you obey the rule, you obey the rule and you but sir, in Vedanta you only said in some other context, in some other class. Yeah, is the Tamoguna. So keep mixing it up, like somehow you want to bring the philosophy also to your preconceived idea. Huh? This manifest is of these three gunas. We discuss the manifest and then we say Brahman is beyond this. We discuss the manifested world. First way of discussing the manifested world is subject and object. Brahman is beyond subject and object. And the second way of discussing the manifest and unmanifest is the manifest is microcosm and macrocosm, and both goes through the three. What are the three they go through? Creation, maintenance, and destruction. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Now the third. What is the third? The manifest is of the three. Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. And Brahman is Guna Atita. The microcosm and the macrocosm all fits under these three gunas, and Brahman is Guna Atita. So the discussion here is not to talk about in detail what Sattva, Rajas, Tamas is. It is only to say the manifest is made up of these three gunas and Brahman is Guna Atita. Guna Atita means transcending the gunas. Hence, Brahman is said to be attributeless. The manifest have the attribute of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. The manifest have the attribute of creation, maintenance, and destruction. The manifest have the duality of subject and object, microcosm and macrocosm. All this belongs to the manifest, and Brahman, the unmanifest, is beyond all these. Guna Atita. The Supreme God is said to be attributeless. This is the discussion till now. With this, we conclude the session for today and we take up clarifications. Yeah.
The sleep is not a physical sleep, but what is the sleep?
In Tamas, I said sleep means don't equate it to physical sleep. Still, it is called sleepy. Tamas, sleepy. What is sleep? Sleep is a non-reactive state to non-responsive state to anything that is happening around you. That is sleep. Can you follow? So sleep means you are in a state where you just don't respond. No reaction happens in you. Because of no reaction, there is no response. That state of no reaction and response is called a state of sleepiness. That is Tamoguna. Are you able to follow? That's why I said don't equate it to physical sleep. I should not be a tamasic person. Therefore, I will not sleep at all. If you start, what will happen? Are you able to follow? What it means is you are in a state of non-reactive. No response to anything that is happening around you, the good and bad around you, you have no response. Able to follow? Is it okay?
To understand creation, maintenance and destruction, அது சப்போசிங் நித்யா அனித்யா புரியலன்னா இதை நம்ம வச்சுட்டு புரிஞ்சுக்க ட்ரை பண்ணாம இந்த மாதிரி கேட்கறது கரெக்டா இல்ல ரெண்டே செப்பரேட்டா தான் புரிஞ்சுக்கணுமா?
Can we understand creation, maintenance, destruction with Nitya and Anitya? Don't mix it up like that. When you are reading a text, stick to the context of the text. That is how you learn. When you are reading a book, when you are reading a text, stick to the context and the words used in the text. Don't bring it up with something else. For creation, maintenance, destruction is understandable by itself separately. No need to connect it with Nityam and Anityam and all. Don't do that. You will get more and more confused. So the discipline while you are reading a text is what? Stick to the context and stick to the concept that is used in that verse, in that chapter. Now I am reading this chapter, the common factor, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Now all that I speak will be restricted to this. That is how you read a text. You don't connect it with what all you have heard in some other context, in some other textbooks. What you heard in Bhagavad Gita, what you heard in Atma Bodha, what you heard in Bhajagovinda Mandal, you don't come and mix it. சரியா? Bhaskar, what is Bhaskar saying? Okay, Bhaskar is only posting the question from Mala. Mala, she is asking a question in relation to Bharat Mata. Did these mad guys exist in the previous yugas too? Or is it a phenomena only in this Kali Yuga? Mad guys existed in all the 4 yugas, the numbers differ. Less mad guys, more mad guys. But mad guys exist in all the yugas, only the numbers differ. Mala.
Okay.
You can never have world is Mishram, mixture. It's always a mixture. The proportion only differs. Therefore, these guys existed in the previous yugas also. Or is it a phenomena only in this Kali Yuga? In this Kali Yuga, these mad guys seems to be
More.
so much more that you have to risk your life to talk about all this. That is the only difference. In Kali Yuga, you got to risk your life to talk about all these things. Otherwise, to answer your question, yes, these kind of people existed in ignorant people. Instead of using the word, what you mean by the word mad guys is ignorant people. So did these kind of ignorant people exist in the previous yuga too? Or is it a phenomena only in this Kali Yuga? These ignorant people existed at all periods of time, all the yugas they will exist. Proportion differs. Is it okay, ma?
So this kind of, I mean, all the philosophy that is being spoken
Yes.
applies to all the yugas.
Yes. It applies to all the yugas.
The problems and I'm talking about the problems or the problematic people. Okay.
Yes. It applies to all the yugas because they are part of the phenomena. They are part of the creation. Why Brahmaji created them like that, we don't know, but they are part of the creation. And why Vishnu is sustaining them also, we don't know. And Shiva goes off to sleep when it comes to these people. That also we don't know why. These are part of this is part of the phenomena. This is part of the phenomena. The beauty of the phenomena is this. Why it is done like that, we don't know. Nobody knows. When we say we don't know means nobody knows. Is it okay, Ma?
Fantastic.
Yeah. With this we conclude for today, and we continue with the study next week.